Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FS19. This is Valley Old Farm episode number 12. We're just leaving the shop with a piece of equipment we haven't used yet. This is our herbicide sprayer, and we are going to spray herbicide on every single field with the exception of those grass fields that don't need it, as they don't suffer from weight. And meanwhile, while I go and start this part of the project, you can see Dad actually pulling up towards the shop right now with the fertilizer sprayer, and we're going to do round 2 of fertilization on the fields that need it. Close to half of the fields are good to go and will not need it. So he's got about half the fields to do, but that includes some grass fields. I have all but the grass fields to do, so both of these jobs are going to take a while, but also I have no idea what kind of spray range we have here until this thing gets fully unfolded. Almost this full field, but not quite. So we'll need to try to adjust over. So we can just make one pass down and back. And as always, finances are such a big thing on this playthrough. In reality, it's kind of everything. So we are going to be as conservative as we can. Get all or most everything. If we end up with a little... Oh, this hitch kind of wriggles from side to side a little bit from every once in a while. There we go. That should... There. That's the happy zone. Okay, let's get this to where we can see everything. Excellent. And we'll see how quickly this sprays. Oh, that's faster than I was hoping it was going to be. Wow, we're kind of struggling to pull this a little bit. Should we be struggling? I don't think we should be struggling. JCB of the 4 tractors we have has the least amount of power, but it is the quickest. And yeah, motor load is definitely not an issue here, even with a little bit of slippage we're getting. It's just 7 miles an hour, period. Not a fan of the fact that we have made a single pass down one field and used up close to 4%. But it's got such a wide spray area that a lot of fields are going to be done with just 2 passes. That was exactly 200, which means that's 1/10 of a pallet.
I got enough for one more. I'm only 56%.
Oh, well, go ahead and get your one more then. We're definitely going to have to... we're definitely going to have to stop and do some timber again. Nope, we're caught up. Not quite clear. I think I need to pull the camera back even further here so we can actually see the ends. Boy, this trailer, when it gets into that position, it does not want to turn back. The hitch on this trailer is weird. It's got this kind of a weird zone to it where it doesn't stay locked in on the position. Okay, I think we're pretty good now. I think bits of field are going to be left untouched just because of the finances involved with this. This is not going to be a perfect science kind of job. And I think when I get to here, stop. I'm going to then get whatever I get. Yeah, see, it's not reversing the way it should. I'm going to have to fold this up relatively often to reposition. There we go. We're going to go right down the middle. We can start unfolding again. Now we're going to just hit this sideways and get whatever it gets with one quick strip. Like I said, we're going to end up leaving a little bit out because this herbicide is spendy. Do I want to do 2 passes? Are we far enough for that? You know what? I think we are far enough for that, so let's reline. If it's gonna forcibly go that way, we'll go this way with it. Scoot on over. There we go. Okay, so very quick pass number 1. Let's go, tractor, let's go. Okay, that's 1. Oh, this thing. Yeah, the way this hitches, it does not follow how it should follow. But I think I can make a UE here. Without getting over to that tree. And yes, we do. And we'll do the same to get to the end back here. And we'll finish this first field up. But again, if we're spending 350 herbicide on one small field, that means this is not going to go anywhere near as far as we need it to, and this is going to be a bit of a spendier project than planned. Okay, one field done. Can I fit between here? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe yes. We're good. Yeah, the speed doesn't help. I was hoping this was going to be 12 to 15 miles an hour. My operating speed is 7. So it might be wide, but it sprays out rather quickly and only does 7 miles an hour. Well, most of the fertilization will be done after this round. Herbicide, of course, is something you only need to do once. So these will be never again tasks once we get that point. Okay, let's go ahead and turn around here. Go back up the other way. Zoom back in slightly. There we go. Alright, well, it's 9 a.m. on day 4, so we're into mid-spring. We've got a couple days left of mid-spring, plus most of today, and then we'll have late spring, so we're still quite a ways away from harvest. As you can see here, we are not just at seeded and starting to grow, but we are into that growth phase where the crops are starting to come up. So these cereals have a pretty short cycle to them. Okay, around the tree. Woohoo! What's going on here? It's a little odd. The screen went black for a moment. Okay, I think I'm just about close enough here. I will not realign. And here we go back the other way. Yeah, we're good. Now I know you can lime and fertilize at the same time. I need to see if you can fertilize and do herbicide on a field at the same time. I might need to double check on that one and make sure that it can take both in that same growth cycle without having some sort of wait for the next cycle for it to take. Like, you can't fertilize again and again. You gotta wait between cycles for that. But the herbicide, don't know. I think you can. I think I've done that already on my no man's land. But memory is a fickle thing, so I better double check and be sure. So I'll be looking that up here in a little bit, somewhere within the contents of this episode, I'm sure. So a little recap of where we're at. Of course, we have that $3 million debt. We are 10,000 down on that, meaning we have 2,990,000 left to go. I know, we've made such wonderful progress there. But of course, once we get the fertilization done and the herbicide done, outside of a single round of... Oh, can I make this turn? Ooh, hello, we're working sideways here. There you go. There's that hitch being weird again. Get myself lined up. We'll try to double up and hit both of these fields at the same time. Make the most of what we're doing spray-wise. And that is the first 20% already gone. So, or first 1,000 anyway of the herbicide all used up. And we have done essentially, well, one medium field and half of one large field. And we've used up the cash reserves that we had built up at the start of the day, which of course that was set for seed money, and seeding's done, and it got us a full load of herbicide in the tank, and it got us most of a load of fertilization in the tank. So, you know, take that, I can work with that. And you know what, now that I'm here, let's just finish this field off. Go up this way, come back that way, and then we'll make our ways around those trees here at some point. Just gotta keep track of what I've done and what I haven't done. But anyway, so that barely made a dent, but at least we've made a dent. And now that we've seeded all of the fields and we've done all that early fertilization, all the fields that needed to be plowed were plowed. So all of that good to go. So that's awesome. What still needs to happen is what we're doing now. Getting herbicide on all but the grass fields. Doing that next round of fertilization, and then a small number of fields will need one additional round. The grass fields after harvest will need an additional round each time we harvest. So we'll still have some fertilization to do after this, but the herbicide will be totally done. The fertilization will be mostly done, which means for the most part, we'll be waiting on harvest. Now, if the cereals grow fast enough, we'll see what that timetable is when we get there. They're already into that second growth phase now, so far so good on that. We might, and it's why we started with them. We started with that wheat, barley, and oat. We may be able to get a second growing period in for them, so we might be able to harvest and then replant and go again. Of course, our yield wouldn't be quite as good the second time because you're putting the same crop in. But if you could do it twice a year, that's better by far than once a year. Okay, beyond that, oh, no, I'm not trying to turn you on. I'm trying to unfold you again while I'm turning the wheel at the same time so the buttons are in an awkward place. Alright. There we go. Let's go ahead and line the edge of the field. Easier to come back down the middle than have to fight with the edge of the field later. Yeah, we're down to 25% already. I think we're going to need to do quite a bit of forestry to pay for these jobs, and it might end up taking us more than one day as a result. But that's okay. Time is on our side right now. We did the hard work getting everything planted, so they're all growing. Now on, they're going to grow whether we move forward a day or not. We still have a lot to do to squeeze in and get the maximum yield. So for that, I suppose time's not totally on our side, but we have a lot more time than we had previously to get things to that happy point. Anyway, once we've done the herbicide and we've gone through fertilized again, at that point what we're down to, and that list starts getting much smaller. Ooh, hello. Let's go here, and I don't know if that's going to be worth it coming back. Oh, we could do sideways on that once or twice. I am leaving little bits here, but there we go. Again, this is efficiency. Increasing our money while spending money to do so. So a tricky fine line on what is helpful. Seed is so easy because it doesn't put seed in the ground unless there is nothing seeded. But the fertilizer and the herbicide are just going to dump if it's on. And so it's all about, are you being efficient with it at that point or not? And speaking of, oh, if only I could back up with this properly. Let's see. Will you work with me? Work with me. Yes. Sweet. You did it. You get a gold star. Okay, tiniest strip there. I will not worry about that. I can handle if there's a few weeds in that location later on. And now we are going to do the same down here. We have a thin strip right there that we can hit up, knock out in an instant. Ready, set, and go. Done. Turn around. Please tell me we made it. Yes, we did. And we line up and we do it again. Okay, that was that. Oh, one little box. Let's not get the whole thing, but maybe through the middle. There we go. Got most of it. Alright, that field's done. We're still about 70%. Now we've got to get the rest here. And that's done. Now, where to go from here, I suppose, based on where I am, and some sort of line to follow. This might be the easiest, just continue up this field, and then we'll come back the other way. Alright, well, before we spend the entire episode just talking our way through this, yes, it's something new. It's a new feature. I'm glad that we're getting to do something different here on episode number 12 after so much of the same with plowing, fertilizing, cultivating, and seeding. Plowing, fertilizing, cultivating, seeding. It's a lot of fields to do, though. So it's fairly justified, but still, seeing something different is good. Let's go ahead and use time-lapse, though, and see if we can knock out a bunch of fields. Of course, I only have 65% in the tank, and we've got $200 left in the account. So before we overdraft and have issues there, from here, once the tank's empty, we're actually going to be jumping back over to forestry. So we'll see how long this lasts and whether we get that in. Maybe we'll wrap this episode up with that load of lumber. Alright, well, we got one quick load done already. It was a partial, it was not a full load, and I'm already close to similar, a little easier area to work with, a lot of trees down close together. And of course, the more you use it, the more you get comfortable with it, the quicker you get. And with that being said, we've got enough for another 22,000 or so in there, but I'm going to keep working for a while. I'm going to do that off camera though. We'll load up at least one more full load, that 30 to 40,000 range. That'll put us up to $50 or almost $60,000. Now that's not likely not enough to get through, but as we saw as we went through, you cannot dual. We can't spray herbicide and spray fertilizer at the same time. It won't take while they're in the same growth phase. So whichever one goes down first is whatever we're able to do. So we are going to do that little bit of getting both done just because of the machinery that we have. So we'll spray herbicide where we can. We'll go back and spray fertilizer on the fields that have gotten fertilized this time around. So one step at a time. We'll get through that. We'll get through this. But a lot of that's going to carry over into our next episode. So that does it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.